the day. Oh, this is so exciting. All right. So the question that was posed to our leaders was, how has Christ transformed your life, or how is Christ transforming your life? And I'm great kid, sir. You should have seminary. Anyway. Really, this is, I'm going to build on this. This is a sneak peek of how God is working in the world, about how the kingdom is breaking into the world and people's lives that eventually will fulfill the full kingdom. So, great kids, sir. Love it. All right. So, real quick, I did want to say, this is an example of our mission statement, which is
Sharing the grace of Christ.
very good. Sharing the grace of Christ. I love it. Also, one other thing. I forgot an announcement, and I'm going to say it now before I forget. Ken, Jean, you want to stand up real quick? Come on. They had a big day this week. How many years?
50.
50! Very exciting. Want to celebrate that. I was not going to let you leave without being announced. All right, so with that, who wants to go first? Come on, Lee. Or Russ. Either way, well, you're going to have to start walking this way anyway. So just start working your way forward.
How has God transformed my life? How is He transforming my life? As I thought about it the last couple weeks, a lot of things came back at me. First, I guess I saw or see growing up, my family was involved in church. I saw them doing things around church all the time. I had some good Sunday school teachers, confirmation class, etc. He transformed me in subtle ways, little things, when I look back, surrounding me with friends, leading me to different churches and doing things there. I also, over the years, kind of drifted away, made some bad choices, one on top of another. Eventually that landed me in the hospital, where there, slowly, He brought me back, giving me the tools to rebuild my life, giving me the thoughts and the things I learned as a kid to come back. Still working on that. It's a daily transformation for me. Coming here to Living Water, He opened up a door to a support group that I use all the time. A safe haven that I could talk to people, bounce things off to them. So, taking that out into the world, I go work out every day at the gym. I say hi to people, interact with these people, especially the young people, because they makes them feel like somebody cares for them. If you just say hi, how's your day going? I guess what I'm saying is sometimes we don't see how God transforms us because He does it in little ways, but sometimes He knocks us down to rebuild us up even stronger. So we have to give, and it's a continuous work, give ourselves to Him, let Him transform us, let us do His will and not ours. Thanks.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to bring this down a little bit lower for me. So, the other day, somebody made a comment. This was probably before Pastor Zach came. We were talking about when Pastor Zach came, which I'm not knowing his name or anything, and and somebody said, well, you get along with most people, you'll be fine. And I was kind of confused by that because I've never been one to get along with most people. I was actually raised in a household where it was actually seen as a very positive thing to be very assertive or even aggressive. So a lot of you know this, but maybe there's some who don't. My mother was actually paralyzed from the chest down. So what this meant in 1960 something, when she actually got into a car accident, was that most people saw it as you went into a home and that's where you stayed. Now, my mother's very rough edges, shall we say assertive or aggressive side, said, I'd rather go to college, and I think I would rather get married, and I think I'd rather even have kids, which was not acceptable at all. But she did it anyway. So it was always seen as a good thing to have those rough edges. So when somebody said, I did get along with most people, it was surprising. But the reality is God has actually given me a lot of either hard things that have smoothed out those rough edges or very soft things. So some of the hard things would be things like my daughter's illness. So my daughter has had anxiety pretty much her whole life, and it actually morphed into anorexia, which again, most of you know this. So that was one of those things that was right in your face, and you had to deal with it and figure out how to function as a family and how to get your daughter through it, right? So God actually kind of led a way through and gave tools and gave a way to do this, even though this was a very rough thing hitting at you and taking those rough edges off. And then some of the things that kind of smoothed some of those rough edges was the simple kindness, kind of like dripping water that would smooth out a rough edge. So going to a potluck and somebody saying, I made a dessert you can eat. That's actually kind of a huge thing when you have allergies and you can't eat a lot of food. That's really nice when people do that. So, but then some of the other things were the people here, the lack of judgment. So we would say things like, well, we've got to go visit our daughter in residential, so we're not going to be around this weekend. And people were very nice. They would pray. They would not judge. I mean, you could go to other places and mention your daughter is in residential, and they weren't necessarily non-judgment. You had this look that you would get that would say, what kind of house do you have? What did you do wrong? But here, that doesn't happen. Here, people are non-judgmental, they're supportive, they're kind, and they'll go out of their way to say, I'll pray for you. And it's these things that actually help to smooth out those rough edges, that actually taught me empathy, that actually taught me somehow that I suddenly get along with people kind of okay, which never really happened before. So I think it's the people who I run into, the situations I run into, and basically all of you here. So thank you.
When I was a little girl, my mother became very ill, and we lost her when I was 30. We had 5 good years with my father, and then he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And without a blink, my husband said, of course he can move in with us. We had 7 years with my dad, and eventually we had to move him into a home, and he did pass of cancer. Between my husband and I, we've lost our parents, we've cleaned out houses. Not easy stuff, rough stuff. But last fall, I got a call from a family member saying, Tanta Aga needs help. My Aunt Agnes needs help. Deep breath, okay. Turned out to be one thing, but as I went to visit her and see her, I realized a lot more help is needed. So every Thursday now, when I'm getting ready for work, I pack my little overnight bag, and after work I drive to her house. We clean, we sort, we've done doctors, we do bills, we laugh, we cry, we reminisce. I spend the night, and in the morning I get up early and we have breakfast together, and she sees me on my way to work. And you might think, wow, that's a commitment. But what I've learned growing up with an ill parent, with my mom, sitting her in those quiet moments. Then with my father, as he would sit at my kitchen table while I would make dinner, and he would ask me repeatedly what day it was or some other variant of that question. or tell me I was making dinner wrong. That these quiet moments that we have between us, that's the stuff of life. That's what transforms. And I have been lucky and privileged to have my mom for as long as I had her. Those years with my father, especially now when I hear my son say, Mom, I miss Opa. And now it's time with my aunt. Yeah, it's a commitment, but it's worth it.